Hello and welcome back, Josh, Sam, and anyone else who's watching to Lviv and Let Die. We are once again in the early stages of the new year, mid to late February, where we start our Champions League campaign proper. Let's go through what's happened in the meantime. The league table looks pretty good. We are 19 for 19, 72 for, 3 against. We have handed out beatings left, right and centre, including I think a 7-something win over Shakhtar, 7-0 win over Shakhtar, where we dominated and battered those poor little Mugginses. We've won almost all of our... In fact, we've won every game this season except for a 1-1 home draw with Chelsea in the Champions League. Quickly, the Ukrainian Cup has gone smoothly so far. We are through to the quarterfinals where we will play Shakhtar Donetsk. We don't have too many very tough games in the second half of the season. Possibly the hardest is away to Krivbas or at home to Dinamo. Everything else is fairly pedestrian. The Champions League group stages went much like this. A really tough draw, Lviv into Chelsea and FC Copenhagen. We were able, however, to finally exercise some demons over those Danish do-gooders. We beat them home and away. We beat Chelsea 1-0 away thanks to a late own goal. We then beat Inter 6-1 at our place, 6 goals and then 1 reply from Inter. We then went to Copenhagen and won 4-1, including an own goal from Topalovic, before bringing them back to our place and doing the double over them, plan insect, scoring to edge out a close game. We then drew 1-1 with Chelsea. They scored an own goal in the second half to share the points with us, which was good for us because it allowed us then to go away to the San Siro, win 2-1 and end the group top again. I think we've come top in every season except for last year and maybe one a little further back in time. But we have looked dominant in European football this year compared to normal, where we seem to have like one team we struggle against. This year we've been pretty good. We didn't do brilliantly against Chelsea, it has to be said, but we didn't lose any games then, and we smashed Inter, who were the top seeds in the group. So we are in a strong position as we welcome AS Nancy Lorraine to our lovely stadium. Actually, I think we're playing away first. So yeah, we're travelling to the home of the Ligue 1 champions. They have been on dominant form the last 2 years, winning ahead of Lyon and Girondins de Bordeaux both times, winning I think their first 2 league championships. Is that true? Yeah, that's their first 2 Ligue 1 championships. And they've also won a cup in that time. So they've been similarly, they're a fairly new good team in France. And we are now going to try and put an end to their first proper Champions League run, because I think last year they didn't get through the group stages. So today we actually have a few weaker sides, quotes unquote, surrounded by quotes. Ajax and Cagliari both joining us in the first knockout round. So there is hope that we could have a decent time next as well. Let's see what happens though. First off, we have to play away at Nancy Lorraine. We just have to clear this entire side basically because everybody playing at the back, everyone playing in the game pretty much was a reserve. So we're going to put in Halstenberg and Topalovic. Where's he gone? Topalovic with Alexeyev out on the left. We're going to have Musaka and Dmitro Bodani there as well. In goal, we'll put Marek Seaman. Up front, we'll do it this way around, it's quicker. Lacroix and Merino with Planinsek and Klein waiting. And then in midfield, we'll swap things around to make it look a little bit more normal. Diogo Shungu comes in. Kofi Donko also in. Magno starting instead of Degachev. We'll have Determined Henry on the bench, and I think we'll also have Ibrahim Shehata on the bench to give us an attacking looking lineup, although we will actually put Donkor in. So here we go. I think this should be pretty good. They're in their new stadium, the AS Nancy Lorraine Stadium, which was obviously named by local children in a poll. So well done for them. We're going to say good luck out there. I don't really know how good Nancy are. I know that we seem to do well against Olympique Lyon, and they obviously are better than them, at least over the last 2 years. So maybe that's a good sign. Maybe it means that we're sort of going to be playing on their level a little bit. But who knows? Haven't sold anyone of note since we last spoke. Have conceded a goal within 38 seconds to ASNL, so not ideal, certainly not the start we had in mind, as the game rushes to point out. Okay, fine. What formation are they playing? 3-5-2. Well, okay, so as usual, the immediate desire is to start getting an away goal. That tends to be what we bang on about in these knockout games. Diego throws the ball towards Ashkenazi's head, but he clears. We are not quite clearing our lines though. Donkor does get it out eventually. Magno, he takes out Van Donegan, and they get themselves a free kick on the edge. There is either a seagull or a small child outside the window shouting. So apologies if you can hear that. It's definitely a child. I can confirm it's definitely a child. Sounds like she's screaming a little bit. Look forward to that, Sam. Seaman now on the ball. Seaman on the ball. Get us a new one, please. Merino passing the ball towards Magno, who slips in. Lacroix. He goes for his second attempt. Speaking of Lacroix, who is a Frenchman playing against a French team, you'll remember our sort of brief dalliance with a striker called Arthur Bellinger, who was a French international. He actually, weirdly, so I noticed, because he's a favoured personnel, and the game's obviously decided that he's not leaving that position, because he started commenting on games, like he says, like former favourite Arthur Bellinger said this about this player, and I noticed that he's actually changed to become Spanish. And I thought that was weird, because he'd played in a game for France, I was sure, and he had been capped by France. He'd been capped by France in a friendly, and then a year later, because he'd never been capped by the full team, he then went on to play one proper game for Spain. So he's actually a Spanish international. Oh, good header towards the back post. Shungu puts the ball back in again. Oh, it drops down to Morin, who was in the middle, and he was able to clear. We've come back into it a little bit more. I've been sort of monologuing over the top, maybe saving, or maybe wasting some of the red hot maximum chat that I could have used elsewhere when it gets to be a bit troublesome for now. But no, that's just the way I live my life, and sorry, but you're just going to have to deal with it. So yeah, the point again being, as I got sidetracked, is that we seem to have sort of grown a little bit into this game. We had a few chances underneath what I was talking about. And now Lacroix puts the ball in the middle. He surely does. Shungu at the back post. How on earth did he not get that on target? Or rather, not just shoot that into the goal, is what I really mean. Magno tackled by Bas van Dongen. Magno scored 2 absolute stunners against, who was it? Inter, I think it was. He scored 2 or 3. Oh no, he scored 2. Like arrow shots from about here and here that just dived into the bottom corner. It was beautiful. Kofi Donkor goes for a free kick, but well over the bar. 'Tis unfortunate, 'tis so it is, 'tis. Now then, Messen to Langer. The crowd, as you can hear, going wild with their hammers and their children. Diego curls to the back post. It was a fairly lame effort, but the goalkeeper still looked like he was sort of outdone by it. Topalovic clears just out of the feet of one of their attackers. Nice. And now we spring an attack. Lacroix running through. Oh, he drops the ball to Shungu. Shungu hits the post. Are you kidding me? Is this going to happen again? You can already feel those. Alexiev, can he put the ball in the middle? No. And Toller clears for a corner. Now we have a chance. Shungu, Moran clears. Jefferson Moran, who's got an Irish name, but he's probably like Colombian or something. It's a throw-in for Nancy Lorraine. Half-time. We're unfortunate to go in behind. Well, that's at least good. Let's assertively get... I expect to see a bit more from you in this matchy. There's a lot more to come from you. Calm. There's a lot more to come from you. Calm. There's a lot more to come from you. Let's crack on. We get the action underway, guys. We've got the action underway. Can confirm. Merino. Oh, he's taken out by Roller Hofstede. Oh, Roll Hofstede. And who's going to take this? For some reason, Croatian Commie stepping forward. Need to have a look at my penalty takers list. But Croatian Commie puts it away with no worries whatsoever. That is a beautiful penalty. The goalkeeper slightly moved, and Croatian Commie gave him the eyes and slotted the ball home to his left. Or to Croatian Commie's left, to the goalkeeper's right. That is one away goal for us. That is good. That is what we want. This is why I like to be this way round in ties. The away game first, so you know what you have to do when you come back, rather than the other way round where it's it's literally exactly the same. It's just that you've already used up your chance for getting away goals in the bag. And I don't know. It doesn't really. It just psychologically for me, it feels better to come home for the second game. Jakobs, the Wolves in the stands now, cheering. Messen goes round his man, but Seaman makes a good Seaman? You mean Seaman? Makes a good save. Magno's going to come off. He's looking a little tired. Determined Henry going to bring a little bit of dynamism to the midfield, maybe. Jacobs on their side has been booked, I think, for bringing down Merino. 65 minutes gone. A loud lorry drives past the stadium and sort of just puts its feet on the brake just enough to make that sound really drag out for as long as possible. We're going to make a change. We're going to take off Lacroix and we're going to bring on Planinsek. I think that's the smart option. We're also going to bring on Nir Biton instead of Kofi Donkor, who hasn't really added much on the right there, which is a shame. He's also clearly left Ashkenazi a little bit exposed because Ashkenazi's not having a great game. Siman to Alexiev to Shungu. We got a bid for £19.5 million for Shungu a year after signing him. It's ridiculous. What the hell was that? I mean, Arsenal could have bought him for £20 million, and they could have had him off of Swansea a year earlier if they'd just been smart, or 6 months earlier, not even a year. But I didn't want to throw away money. I think we're technically out of money, despite the fact that, it's lovely, and what a ball that is from Shungu, and Merino taps home, and we are 2-1 up away from home in the Champions League round of 16. I think the balance for the club is actually technically in the red now. This is why I wasn't overly spending very much previously. I guess that whatever happens this summer, they're going to start selling off some players. If I'm here, I'll have to, otherwise I won't be able to afford to bring any new players in, and if I'm not here, that's just what the game will do. Biton scores from Determined Henry to Biton, and it's 3-1 to Lviv, and you've got to think, despite the hubris that put me in mind to say you've got to think we're through against Arsenal in the last year's quarterfinals, you've got to think we're now going to go into the quarterfinals here as we have put a third away from home against Nancy Lorraine. Come on. Ureds. Halstenberg hits the crossbar. Shungu puts it down to Determined Henry, to Palovic, to Croatian Commie. It's a sort of, it wasn't a great effort. It was just wide. Cohen in goal. Up to ASNL. To Palovic, now to Seaman. Alexiev. Huge ball to Nir Biton. And Biton, what a terrible, terrible finish. What a terrible finish. Determined Henry now. In he comes, and to Palovic, completely free. Inside the 6-yard box, all he had to do was keep his header under the bar, and I think he hit it over and wide, because he's a top-quality striker, being a centre-back, of course. Croatian Commie up towards Biton. Again, Determined Henry out to Merino. Merino goes round his man. Can he cut it back, maybe? No, he goes past his man. Here's a little bit of sort of battle for the ball there, but eventually he smashes it into the side netting. Looks like one of our guys is coming off. Oh, shock, it's Merino. Put him on good form, and that boy will get injured. That's his raison d'etre. Thrown towards Biton. Avinel. We're playing with 10 men for the last 5 or 6 minutes. Hopefully we don't get bitten by that. Carvalho. Massan. Jacobs tries to play it in, but it's cleared just about, and now Bas van Dongen fouls on the edge of our box, and we can take it clear. Can we take one last little throw? Here it comes. Maybe a fourth, just to rub salt in the wounds. Alexiev puts the ball in. Biton. How are we not 4 or 5 up here? We could have won this game 6-1, and it wouldn't have been unreasonable if we just put some of those headers away. People have written us off. That was pretty special. I'm very happy with everybody. You made it happen for us. And pleased. Good. Yeah, really good. We are through 3-1. We're not through, but we won 3-1. The aim now is to go all the way and win this Champions League. I think we can do it. These two teams not looking too special. Who else is in the Champions League at the moment? A couple of teams who are looking special. Fenerbahce, the other non-special looking side. Hopefully we can stay apart. Hopefully we can take the winner of this tie next, or possibly the winner of this tie. Don't see that being too bad, and we can leave those stupid teams that always beat us for later. Ivan Merino, cool, broke his arm. That guy's bones are made of wood, and he needs to drink more milk. Good. Attend. I thought we played very well. Ivan was outstanding. It's a massive blow, obviously. He's only managed 7 goals again this season. It's another injury hit season for him. So what we're going to do is we're going to go away and play the Scala Street game and the Metalist game, and then we'll be back for Odessa and AS Nancy Lorraine in the second knockout round leg 2. First knockout round leg 2. So I'll see you then, guys. Bye.